Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted, natural, spiritual. I hope that this message finds you all well. I'm going to fix my volume here. Um, Prayer for the Bahamas. As you know and see, we've got some serious things going on in the islands of the Bahamas, the free ports, and the Grand Bahamas, all of the other islands there. It's just complete devastation. Here in South Florida, many people are conducting relief efforts to get supplies to the Bahamas. I know quite a few people that have family there, and it is tragic. There are hundreds of people missing. Hundreds. I mean, it's, if not in the thousands, but definitely in the high hundreds. Just speaking to people who have access to people who are on the ground, and it's just horrifying as to what has occurred as a result of this storm. And I know our congregation is going to be conducting relief efforts. We're not giving anything monetary as a congregation. I don't believe so far that we're not. But we are going to be doing clothing and the other items that they're asking for, that our members are going to be asked to start bringing them in the weeks to come, so that we can get whatever we can do to the islands as expeditiously as possible. It's needed like now. There are people that just don't have everything that they use every day: toothbrushes, deodorant, mouthwash, change of underclothing. They have nothing. Whatever you think that you would need, they don't have. Combs, brushes, just the necessity of things that people use and that we take for granted every day. They need that right now. We're going to be sending over shoes of all sizes. We're going to be sending over clothing of all sizes, all genders. We're just going to be sending as much stuff as we can get to the various distribution centers, because this is a very serious storm, and people are just really going through. So this is a dire need. I know that many of you all listening cannot do anything, but I just wanted to just ask you to pray as we pray for them. And we're going to be doing our efforts here as a congregation locally, as Bethel, and we're going to be doing that stuff every week. Every month we provide clothing, free clothing and breakfast to the community and the homeless. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask people to start bringing in stuff early, so that we can get it to the Bahamas prior to the first of the month, because we still want to continue our efforts here. But the majority of what we get, we really want to send to the islands of the Bahamas. So again, this is just horrifying. The pictures that you see on CNN and some of the ground pictures that we're being provided with by people who have boots on the ground is just devastating. The stories, the sad stories that we hear, and knowing that we missed that and looking at what could have happened, we're just very thankful and grateful as to the Almighty being with us. But right now we need to do what we want someone to do for us, and that is get the necessities that they need to that location as soon as possible. So I just wanted to ask you all to pray for our Bahamian brothers and sisters over there in the Bahamas, Freeport, Grand Bahamas, Marsh Island, all of those various places. I just happened to have spoken to my daughter a few nights ago, and her friend lives there, his family lives there. They were very fortunate only because their home is built on high ground. But when they were in their home, normally they would be able to look down and see other homes. During the storm, mostly what they saw was water, and some of the houses, the rooftops of some of the houses. That's what they were able to see. So the question is, where was all of those people? Where were they? That they did not know to evacuate, get to evacuate, or have the means of evacuating. A lot of people went up into their attics and inside of their roofs, and some have holes in the roofs. But even after they got on top of the roof, if the water continued, basically, who knows what happened to those people? And that's the sad part about it, knowing that you are going from a first floor to a second floor to the attic, and then you're putting a hole in the roof. If you had a first floor or one level home, you just went from your ground floor to the attic to putting a hole in the roof, if you were able to do that. So the Bahamas will take decades to rebuild. It is an island that its main stupor is tourism. That is their main source of income. And of course, it's going to take a while to rebuild and to get things back together. Tourists came to tour the island. But in this situation, the circumstances as they are, it's going to be very difficult. So again, we're going to be trying to concentrate our efforts on trying to provide that help and that assistance. We're not doing anything financially. At least if we do, we're going to be doing it as a local congregation. The only thing that I'm asking you all for is your prayers. Prayers that we will get the clothing, the everyday necessities in, so that we can get it to the right distribution center and get there as expeditiously as possible. So I'm glad to see that there are so many people here in South Florida, so many groups and organizations that just very quickly started up. And they did because a lot of people have family. There are a lot of Bahamian Americans. Sorry about that, I'm good. Living in South Florida. I just want to put that back up real quick. Give me just 1 second. And they're living in South Florida. And being that they're living in South Florida, they have a strong connection with individuals in the Bahamas. I know people that are in business that come back and forth, known them for a long time. They come and do a lot of their purchasing here, their vacationing here, and it's rough. A lot of people just left from buying school supplies and taking a lot of stuff back home. So it's going to be a challenge, man. I tell you, it's really sad when you look and listen to some of the stories and get some of the stuff that people are putting on Facebook that's not even on CNN or the mainstream networks. The bodies that are floating. I mean, it's really sad. And so we have to put ourselves in their shoes, because that storm, being a Category 5, just stayed over that island for over 24 hours, well over 24 hours. So you kind of knew, just, those of us that are used to going through storms and hurricanes, we know what a Category 5 will do. Our building code in South Florida is a very strict building code, and so our homes are built to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. And a lot of homes have what we call storm impact windows or shutters, and it's able to protect your home from flying debris. But in reality, if the storm comes through and lingers in anybody's area, it doesn't matter if you got storm impact windows or shutters, it's going. It's going. No ifs, ands, and buts. And so a lot of times, if I know that a Category 5 is coming straight across the east into the west from the Atlantic, coming westward, coming directly, and it's going to be a direct hit, usually we would know. We have enough time to know. And our meteorologists, in tracking, they do 75%, they do the models that are given are pretty accurate. It just, in this situation, there was no way of predicting that the storm was going to linger over the Bahamas that long of a time period. But their models showing the track was right on point. And that to say that when we know that there's going to be a direct hit of a hurricane, most people who know to go. We know to go. So we absolutely go. There's no wavering, there's nothing. We go because we know that no matter what you do, it's going to be devastating. Either you're going to have no electric for weeks, and which means there's not going to be any school, there's not going to be any work other than essential workers, and so it's best just to get out. One of the things that we try to do as a family is to have, during the hurricane season, enough funds that if we had to leave, either we will be able to stay with family members either out of state or a hotel in state that that is in an area that has not been impacted for the storm. At least 2 weeks. Now, the reason why I say 2 weeks, because if you have homeowners insurance, they will basically be in within 7 days. They will be set up and they can declare your home either habitable or inhabitable. And at that point in time, they will ask, where is your family staying? And from there, they will pick up the tab. So that happens. I remember my brother, Elder Robert Johnson, there was an ice storm in the Midwest in Lexington, Kentucky, several years ago. And the ice storm, it rained, and then the rain turned to ice, and the branches got so heavy that they literally broke. That when the water turned to ice, they just clapped. Trees failed. It looked like a storm actually went through, but it was what we call an ice storm. And again, it happens in the Midwest. This was in Lexington, Kentucky, and his roof was damaged. A tree fell on the roof, and let me tell you, let me tell you, I'm sorry there. It really caused a lot of damage. And he was in one of these home suite hotels type of things that has the rooms with the living room and stuff. He was there for quite some time. You'll hold on one second. And I don't know where that's coming from, so I can't really cut it off. I'm trying to. So I don't think it's disturbing anything, but nonetheless, he had to stay in a hotel for that hotel for almost like 2 months. And one of the things that we try to do here is make sure that you have a good homeowner's insurance policy. Okay, hold on. I gotta find out where that's coming from. There it is. I found it. Okay. So, it's just sad. I mean, because in the islands, let me just say this. I've been to the Bahamas. The Bahamians are a very strong, spirited group of people. They really are. And they have a resilience that is remarkable when it comes to surviving and helping one another through any event. They're very prideful people. They're very courageous people. When you know someone from the Bahamas, they are survivalists. And that's one thing about people from the Bahamas. And I think it's conducive to everybody that lives in an island like that. You have to be that way. Everybody knows everybody or knows someone that knows someone. And so that's been my experience with people in the islands. And again, they have a lot of resilience. Their confidence is remarkable. Their comeback is remarkable. And no doubt they will recover from this. It's going to be a long time. Just naturally looking at what happened, it's going to be a long time. But they will come back. They will come back. They're going to be impacted, but they will be back, no doubt. They will be back as a people. And I just hope and pray that whatever we do, we're able to do our part and help them recover. And maybe at some point in time, as things get settled, I may take a trip or take those funds and give it in the hands where I know it's going to be productive. And that's why you want to be careful with providing funding, because there are so many organizations that will pop up and they prey on events like this to do certain things. So you have to vet. But right now we don't have time to vet. We just want to get supplies there. So that's why we're not doing anything monetary right now. We just want to get supplies there and do our part. So other than that, I just wanted to give it to you from our different perspectives, because we know so many Bahamians and so many people that know people that we're getting reports, devastating reports that you're probably not getting on mainstream media, and which just led me to just have a heart and mind to say thank you for your prayers in that. I lost some of my chat because Debbie Willard, hello. Linda Jones, how are you? Lady J, Brother Tobiah, Miss B, how are you? Thank all of you all for tuning in. I have a new phone, so I don't know how to quite work it yet. So that's why I had that little mishap. But everything is safe. So that being said, peace, and we'll talk in Jesus' name. We'll talk soon.